So Vladimir Putin, in the midst of the war in Ukraine, he decided to crack down domestically. And this is something, look, you see this time and time again with authoritarian leaders. So, after the U.S. invaded Iraq and occupied the country, destroyed the country, jacked the oil, all that stuff, in one of the midterm elections, George W. Bush and the Republicans ran on adding a constitutional amendment to the U.S. Constitution to ban gay marriage. That was one of the things that they ran on in one of the midterm races. I'm not sure. I think it was 2006, maybe they ran on it. So in the heart of the Iraq war, what they're trying to do, change the conversation. Talk about this. Squirrel. So that's the goal. The goal is just deflect, change the conversation, because obviously Putin is waging an illegal war in Ukraine, and things are not going too well. And so that's what he's doing. But what they're doing is super duper extreme. So he signed a new LGBTQ propaganda law. And I'll tell you a little bit about what it does here. Quote, the new laws make it illegal to promote or praise LGBTQ relationships, publicly express non-heterosexual orientations, or suggest that they are normal. You're not allowed to suggest that a gay relationship is normal, that if somebody's gay, that's okay. You're not allowed to say that. The package of amendments signed by Putin include heavier penalties for anyone promoting non-traditional sexual relations and/or preferences, as well as pedophilia and gender transition. So in other words, they're saying you're not allowed to publicly endorse pedophilia. That seems like kind of obvious in a sense. I mean, people have free speech, so they could say it. Usually it's like you can't act on it. He's saying you can't even say it in this instance. And gender transition, so in other words, trans issues are sort of banned as well. You're not allowed to say being trans is normal, being trans is okay. Under the new law, it will be banned across the internet. Wow, this is real crackdown across the board if it's even on the internet. Media, books, audiovisual services, cinema, and advertising. So you can't even have like a movie with a gay person in it. Under the new law, individuals can be fined up to 400,000 rubles, which is about $6,370 for LGBTQ propaganda, and up to 200,000 rubles, which is $3,185 for, quote, demonstrations of LGBT and information that encourages a change of gender among teenagers. So the highest fine you can get is about $80,000 or $64,000. And that's if a legal entity does these things. So if a company releases a movie with a gay character, that's what happens. And not only did Putin approve the law, but it was also approved by Russia's upper and lower houses as well. So it's not just him. It's not just him. They're going full authoritarian. So look, again, classic move. You're doing an illegal offensive invasion against a country that didn't attack you. You are occupying it. You are trying to jack parts of that country. And, the death toll is through the roof, tens of thousands, probably over 100,000 now. And this is a way to deflect. What do you say? Squirrel, look over here. And I don't know. I'm not familiar with the polling in Russia as to whether or not this is popular. But my reaction effectively is, I don't care. Even if it is popular, I wouldn't be like, oh, well, then it's okay to pass it, because this is a rights question. So there's multiple different kinds of issues, right? And one of them is constitutionally protected rights, so human rights. Human rights stuff should not be open to a vote, right? That's like saying, let's go back to 1952 in Mississippi and vote on whether or not they think segregation should be legal or illegal. I don't care if it came back 85%. Let's keep segregation going. I'd say, as a matter of as a right, black people don't have to be second-class citizens. They are equal under the law. So I don't care if it's 99% that say, yeah, let's enforce second-class citizenship on them. Fuck that. No, they should be legal under the law. And this is the same thing here. When it comes to LGBTQ issues, any sort of characteristic that's immutable, that you can't change, there should be no discrimination on that basis. And what he's doing is the worst of the worst. So you see kind of a clear hierarchy too in advancement on these issues. Like there are some countries that have sort of evolved massively on these social issues, and then others that are, still draconian and primitive, and it could be for religious reasons, it could be for other reasons, but this is totally unacceptable. And now look, I'm sure it was already kind of dangerous to be LGBTQ in Russia. Now it's even more dangerous. now it's even more dangerous because any sort of outward display. So what if somebody's like kind of just flamboyant by their nature, or they're a guy and they wear bright colors, or the way they talk? Is that enough to say, oh, you're sort of promoting homosexuality? Maybe. It might be. Accusations that somebody's gay could land him in a prison cell, right? And now we have a situation where any sort of, like, it criminalizes even debate on the issue, which how is society supposed to move forward if you can't even talk about it? If you can't even take the correct position, which is that gay people are equal and deserve the same protections, if you can't even debate that or discuss that, how do you move public opinion forward? You're just stuck in a permanent state of stasis, and you're paralyzed, and you're not going anywhere, and it's just regressive laws in perpetuity. That's totally unacceptable. So, really, really terrible stuff here. And my heart goes out to everybody who's LGBTQ in Russia.
Ever since Adpocalypse, when YouTube defunded all independent news and politics overnight, we haven't trusted them. We know they can pull the rug out from underneath us at any time. If you enjoy this content, please consider tipping $1 or $2 per month on the Secular Talk Patreon. Link in the video description box below. Thanks for your support.